Hello, folks. Well, I am at Fielder Plaza, which is a storefront in Arlington, Texas. Say, what are you doing over there? I'm going to tell me a Joe Exotic story right now. Because this is a piece of Joe Exotic history. In that, before Joe Exotic went to Oklahoma to have the GW Zoo, he had two pet stores in this Fielder Plaza. Pet Safari and Super Pets. Even if you saw like the recreation movie that got done a couple of years ago where they went to Australia and Australia was supposed to double for Texas, and you saw the pet store that he had with his husband Brian, called Super Pets. It was here. So now that was then. Oh, something else you might be interested in, a little bit of history. Joe, as people that follow Tiger King know, Joe's an outspoken fella. He was pushing for gay rights back at a time when that wasn't so prevalent like it is today. Doing things like hanging pride flags in his pet store and wrapping the poles, like they don't look like they did then, but like this here, they were like poles were like bigger and thicker and bricky. I saw pictures of them. And he was pissing off the Arlington City Council. There's actually an article on it online. You see a picture of what I'm talking about. It's Joe standing there in front of one of these poles that's wrapped where he has a pride flag on a stick. But since then, this place has had a facelift, so it doesn't really look a lot like it did before. But I think it's still worth talking about in a historical context. So we're going to take a ride around and get an idea of what this place looks like now. So it's just a little shopping center. Got like a Tom Thumb there. I think. Now, I don't have before to really compare it to. But considering that Joe had his pet store that became another pet store and now still is a pet store in this shopping center, I'm going to guess and say this is where it was located. I mean, physically in the shopping center, because I've got to turn the vehicle around here. It's now Pet Supermarket, which this Pet Supermarket has been here for a hot minute. So I think it would make sense to think that all those years ago you had one pet store that became another pet store that is now a pet store. So this Pet Supermarket, and there was a Blockbuster Video on the other side of this place, which I know isn't there anymore. But we're gonna go around here. See, Pet Supermarket. And there's a Starbucks there. That gives you a little taste of, you know, what it was like back then. And we know Joe went on to greener pastures, or whatever kind of pastures you want to say, with the zoo and everything else that happened after that. But that gives you a little bit about what was. I thank you very much for coming with me on that. If you haven't subbed to the channel, please do. Please like the video. I'd appreciate it. Y'all take care. I'll see you on the next one.